Hello, it's 9 p.m. RTD. It's time to English new edition. For tonight headlines, we have the consultation meeting continues in the Tajura region for the implementation of biometric system. Migration is for the international scene. Frontex accused of tolerating ill treatment of migrants. Welcome to our newsroom. Also as part of the regional consultations on the project to establish the national identification number and the national registers of physical person, the delegation is led by Mr. Ahmed Omar Jama, acting chairman of the technical committee, visit Tajura in the mornings of Monday, August 5, 2019. The high delegation was received with few honors by the president of the regional council and the deputy prefect of the region, who immediately took them to the offices of the regional council, where the many participants of this national round table were waiting for them. The debates and exchanges mainly focused on the presentations of the objective and creating of the centralized national register and the national identification number. The Mayor of Djibouti, in her participation as President of the National Association of Djibouti Local Authorities and the Director General of the Population, have at all times stressed at length the importance of recording civil status facts so that any individual born on Djibouti soil is taken into account. The President of the Regional Council, Mr. Omar Hussein Omar, for his part thanked the delegations for this initiative, which will leave its mark on the minds of all members present in the room. For his part, the Secretary General of the Secretary for Decentralization, Mr. Muhammad Isse Faraj, indicates in his interventions that this type of meeting is of crucial importance for the inhabitants who live in the most remote part of the countries. The acting prefect Habib Jilani Muhammad has indicated that this kind of is the first of all in the regional scene. It's important for the local population to have the register code, and it's very important to make a database for the population in general, he said. The General Director of the Population, Mr. Ahmed Omar Jama, has explained in his speech is satisfied with the exceptional quality of the debate and exchanges which the delegation and representative of the local population left to the premises, setting out for other awareness campaign of this kind. The Minister of Women and Family, in collaboration with the various partners, are conducting a vast policy of promotions of rural women in our country. We will present you a retrospective of the activities carried out for the promotions of rural women, whose World Days has been celebrated every year since 2012. Retrospective on this subject in this magazine.
The Ministry of Women and the Family, implemented with the support of various partners, targeted the poor women in both the capital and rural areas. Those programs promote women's ability to create income-generating activities and accumulate assets. Indeed, the objective of the Ministry of Women and the Family are to ensure that they have sufficient resources to better access the basic services and improvements in their living conditions in all the aspects. As everywhere in the world, the Republic of Djibouti celebrates the International Day of Rural Women, celebrated since 2012 within the Republic of Djibouti. International Rulers Women Day is an opportunity for the Ministry of Women and the Family to highlight the constraints faced by the women in rural areas, but also to provide them with materials in order to develop income-generating activities. On this occasion, the Ministry of Women and the Family also grant them flocks enhanced by regions. As such, the Ministry of Women and Family has indicated and implemented a number of activities in the interior regions and in the most remote areas in order to help rural women out of poverty and precariousness, but also to encourage them to actively contribute in the economy of local development. The development of rural women requires the implementation of targeted projects and programs that respond to the lack or needed identified by the department or formulated directly by them. Among the various projects for rural women are in the field of education, the Women's Literacy Program, in partnership with the UNFD, has been set up with the aim to combinedly come over illiteracy among women by teaching mother tongue in a first place and foreign languages in a second place. And finally, by teaching them professional and functional vocabulary for each areas and activities exercised by the women. Literacy for women and girls is essential for the country's economic growth, as it enables them to develop their skills and build or strengthen their economy's independence. In 2018, 3,485 women enrolled in the literacy program. 40% of them are from Djibouti City. The remaining 60% of the learners live in the interior regions. Among those women, 2,281 or 66% have developed language skills and have been issued certificates by the Ministry of Women and Families and UNFD. The Ministry of Women and Families has set up itself the objective of bringing 36,000 women out of the illiteracy for 3 years, 2018 to 2020, or 12,000 per year, created by the presidential decree. Community mutual associates are human structure based on principles of solidarity that aim to empower women economically through the creation of income-generating activities, the identification of projects useful for the rural development, and the access to quality health care with emphasis on pre- and postnasal consultations as well as family planning and hygiene. Today, those community mutuals have 42 mutuals for 42 localizations, incorporating the 5 inland regions with a total number of more than 1,000 households. Achieving those objectives require the organization and transformation of women's association and interior regions into cooperatives. To strengthen the capacity of women's association in the main town and villages, the ministry provide instant trainings for those women on the management and cooperatives on the improvement of products of their activity, namely handcrafts, animal husbandry, and agriculture, and on the preparation of products of cheap income. As a result of 13 cooperatives have been created and are operational.
On Saturday, August 3, 2019, the National Theatre of Saline organized a cleaning and Cleanliness Day. Saline, a famous theatre in the country that currently welcomes singers and actors from all over the country, the organizations of major cultural and musical events. The director of the National Theatre, Mr. Said Hilaf, was the initiator of this project to beautify the Saline. Mr. Said Hilaf also indicated that these types of cleanliness activity should be routinely organized to maintain and beautify our theatre, which is a meeting place for all kinds of culture. Said Hilaf also invite all national artists to raise the level of music by keeping the places of cultural organization clean. The second session of the Djibouti Diaspora Friendship Tournament was held at the King Fahd Balbala Stadium. A team had participated in the competition in the final of the France tournament opposes two teams, the Ali Sabih team and the Kartile at King Fahd Stadium. The match took place in the presence of senior officials of the Djibouti Diaspora, as well as the president of the organizing committee, Mohammed Ali Aden. The final was won by Ali Sabih's team by penalty shout out. In Adailu inaugurates CDC with great pomp and circumstances. It was under a rainy sky that the event, so eagerly awaited by the Adaili people, took place in the presence of senior staff of the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, the village's elder, the many young people, in part from CDC, as part of the inter-CDC exchanges, after a warm welcome of which only the Adaili people have. The secret ceremony dedicated to this great fest began with the reading of Holy Quran before the officials took turns at microphone to thank the President of the Republic, his Secretary of State, for making this peace. The head of the mission is Inspector General of the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, Musa Ali, urged the inhabitants to take care of this community center, to run it and to make it a preferred place for meeting and consultations of the village's population. For his part, the Inspector General of the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, Mr. Musa Ali, recalled that Adailu, that is work having sports center like the CDC, like the other localities. It is with this in mind that the government has mobilized it to raise the necessary fund to build a brand new CDC for Adailu to promote sports and recreation in the country's locality. We have obituary release. In this blessed month, a beautiful soul has left us, Miss Nirma Ahmed Omar, French teacher since 2000, appointed pedagogical advisor in 2016. She became French inspector in 2017 after having been successfully received in the inspectorate competition, known for her uprightness, honesty, and outspokenness. She was appreciated and respected by her colleagues. Serious and competent. His death is a loss for the French discipline, for the Inspectorate General, and for the Ministry of National Education and Professional Training. May the Almighty welcome him to his eternal paradise while conferring on his family and loved one of the faith and patience necessary to bear such afflictions and the pain of separation. The Minister of National Education, the Inspectorate General, and the entire educational family extend their sincere condolence to his family and friend. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. For the international scene, the European Borders Guard Agency Frontex is accused of tolerating ill treatment of migrants. It was a media collective that carried out a wide-ranging investigation to correcting investigation site, the British Daily Guardians and the German canals RTD, relying on internal Frontex documents. These journalists discovered that Frontex had on several occasions dismissed cases of ill treatment that had been identified. The investigations report incidents and violence allegedly perpetrated in Bulgaria, Hungary, and Greece. Borders Guard in these countries reportedly used excessive forces, for example, pepper spray, and they reportedly stifles migrants with dogs and sometimes even abuses some people. However, all these cases were closed without further actions by Frontex. Versus Addis, a human rights specialist. By continuing to cooperate with these countries, Frontex is complicit in these cases of abuse. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us.